I think the hardest for me personally, I think for everyone, is the lack of being able to be close to other people. I think we take it for granted. I know I take it for granted that I could go into any store or see my friends whenever I wanted to or engage my neighbors if need be. And I think that we take our personal freedoms and our ability to move about for granted. It's been a real eye-opener for me about how much we are social beings, that even though there isn't a lack of technology to communicate, that human contact, that human touch is so necessary and so important.
Oh my god. It's not the apocalypse! The difference between this and an apocalypse is that it's possible to stop this virus. That's why scientists and health experts are telling us to stay patient and calm, not telling us to say our prayers. So yeah.
I don't care. I really don't care. Maybe they'll do something for the seniors as soon as quarantine is over, but even if they didn't, I wouldn't mind much because I hated high school, so why would I? Anyway. I know a lot of people miss their friends and miss school, but I don't. I'm actually so glad that I'm at home. High school was getting really hard for me and it was getting worse and worse, and I was trying to find any excuse not to go to school, and I felt like I was starting to reach my breaking point, and then quarantine came and I feel more relaxed and happier than I've been in a long time because of school. And no, I'm not saying anything shallow, like I'm happy quarantine came because I'm not at school. No, I would never wish something as horrible as this to happen so I didn't have to go to school. But I think it's kind of lucky that I think that way about school.
After I heard about that lady in New York having acid thrown at her face, the first thing that came to my mind: be careful. This can happen to you. Which is silly. I know my other rational part is saying it's not going to happen in this neighborhood or this town or this workplace. But maybe that lady also thought that nothing like that would happen to her that morning.
The biggest change is just how fast things have been changing, especially in the beginning when things were changing daily. The disease was spreading, and whether or not we were going to close schools or how long we were going to have the schools closed, it was sometimes changing on an hourly basis. So the biggest challenge was staying on top of it and letting our community know, as well as school sites, so they could prepare for when we had to change to remote learning or when we shut down the schools. The school facilities made sure everyone knew this and was prepared for it because the news was changing really fast.
I have to say that I'm really proud of our staff and the way they have transitioned and are using technology. It's almost been a seamless transition. So many people already had things in place, like Google Classroom, and getting to know how to use Zoom and all these other platforms. And they really look towards this new way of learning, and they have embraced it. So I'm really proud of what they have been doing. As far as the students, I realize how hard it's been for the seniors especially, and of course everyone, the juniors, the sophomores, the freshmen. Not getting to see one another and not being together is different, and that itself is a challenge. We all miss each other, but I have to say I'm so proud of how people are stepping up and they understand that this is a virus and this is something serious. This is not a mandate. This is what the world is experiencing. And I'm so grateful for the patience and understanding that everyone has right now. We're all facing the same challenges, but I'm so proud of how everyone is responding and coming together and working so hard.
You know, if I had any thought that it was actually going to happen like this, well, there's a lot of things that I could have done to prepare and be ready. It's tough. There are some teachers who are not good with computers. And there are some students who don't even have computers, who don't have access to internet. We're all kind of just flying blind here. And it's not for everyone. Some kids, their home lives are not great. School is the only time that they get to get away from the things going on at home. I feel so bad for those kids. And it's just so many ceremonies, not just graduation. We had our school play that had to be canceled. We have awards ceremonies and induction ceremonies and a variety of other things that are supposed to get kids the recognition that they deserve. High school, the final year of high school especially, is so important to these kids. It's like one of the best parts about being a teacher is getting to see your seniors move on and become adults. And I don't even get to see my seniors. So, yeah, it's tough. I hate this.
I'm not a therapist, but a lot of what I do feels a lot of times like therapy. It's kind of like being a professional parent. I've always been the type of person that when I'm helping somebody else, I'm completely in the zone. I'm very focused. I mean, when this first started happening, I had no idea what was going on. I was so confused. I was so angry. I was so frustrated, and I was so scared of what was to come because I don't fear death and turmoil and trauma and horrible things. I mean, I do, but I don't fixate on it. But I am terrified of the unknown. I'd rather know that a horrible thing is going to happen in a month than not know what's going to happen in a month, which is, I mean, always the case, right? But especially with how uncertain this was. But usually in my job, I have been very focused on if my client is in a crisis, then my stuff goes in my back pocket. I'll deal with it on the drive home or when I get home. Thank goodness I was already good at setting those personal boundaries for myself, so it made this a lot easier. But also, I've been honest with my clients. These are human beings who are intelligent individuals. They can tell if I'm lying to them, and I say, everything's gonna be fine. I've told them so many times, I don't know how long this is gonna last. I wish I knew. I miss seeing you guys in person. I wish this wasn't going on right now. This is frustrating, but I'm trying to keep myself safe and I'm trying to keep you safe. So I think just being honest with them that it's been difficult for me.
Being in quarantine sucks. There's no doubt about it. It sucks not being able to see your friends or visit your relatives, being stuck with your family, not even being able to go normal grocery shopping, among other things. And it makes me angry. And part of me knows that this is what's best. This is what the country needs in order to get through this pandemic. And even though being in quarantine has made me more depressed and lonely, I'm looking forward to when this will all end.
I've always really been an introvert. This whole COVID thing and the stay-at-home order hasn't really been a huge change in my lifestyle since I stay at home anyways. But at the beginning of the year, I made a vow to myself that I was going to change. I was going to be more outgoing and make new friends and be myself and put myself out there. It was my last year of high school and I sort of depended on that to, try and be myself and not be so quiet and try and be the person that I've wanted to be for so long. And I knew nobody could judge me because I'll never see them again. I really wanted to make more friends, but because of COVID, I can't really do that anymore. So, definitely a change of plans.
My income has primarily been coming from a restaurant. Like so many actors and producers, waiting and serving tables is a great income job, survival job, some may call it. My primary focus is to act, produce, make things. Now that's dried up too. So, to see that you can't go into work and auditions have dried up, that's sort of been a double whammy. And so I think people have realized that we're going to be in this for the long haul, for weeks, couple months. Feel like time has no meaning in a period like this.
And one moment, they're on 2 layers of oxygen, and the next they can't breathe, and we're having to shove a tube down their throat and put in a central line and do all these things to keep them stable, and there's an adrenaline rush that comes with that. And because we have this whole gowning up component to it, sometimes I just feel like I'm not doing a very good job because we're so focused on the protection part of it. When I come home, I don't bring work home with me. I mean, I walk through the door and all this is my sanctuary. I need to let loose and let it all go, and I'll come back to it when I get back to work. But there's times when I feel like I don't have anyone to talk to about this. I want to. I want to vent. I want to scream. I want to pound or hit the wall or I don't know. I don't know. Sometimes I call my mom when I just really don't feel like I know what I need. I just need quiet. I need to just kind of separate myself because I come home after hearing all the beeping of the machines, people talking, fans blowing, and sometimes when you come home, you try and go to sleep, but you still hear those things. They're still with you when you walk through that door, but that just comes with the job.
I don't really care for it. Freaking out about the spread won't make quarantine any easier to get through. The best thing that I can do for the sake of my own mental health is to watch YouTube and distract myself with pointless content until the professionals come and say, hey, we have the cure and the spread is going down extensively. But the virus is still an issue. So if y'all could kindly stay in your homes for another week or so until it's clear that your safety isn't harmed, that would be awesome. Then we can all continue with our lives and everything will be fine once again. So yeah.
I've been making masks from donated fabric from my membership people and donating them to other members who are healthcare professionals, and I've been giving them to hospitals now, to the people who I know need them. I've been printing out crafting kits for the neighborhood kids to come by and take home and play with or whatever, or give their parents a break. I do live streaming to help distract from the virus and to entertain people who are stuck at home. So that's what I've been doing for the world at large.
Oh, man. Well, I've pretty much been in my room like 70% of the time, just trying to avoid the family as much as possible, because it just gets worse day by day. This isn't meant to happen. This isn't the family dynamic that I wanted, but every family can feel the same. Like, if you hang out with the same people every day, over and over again, you're gonna get sick of them. Well, the same kind of goes with family, and having to deal with 3 other people, and only 3 other people, for the entire day, it gets pretty frustrating. But we've had some more just like family time, more than usual, so I guess that was a nice experience. A different family life. I've been texting people every other day. I've got Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, iMessage, FaceTime, whatever it is, because I'll lose my mind if I don't talk to anyone else besides my family.
And our leaders are calling this virus Chinese virus. The second I heard that, something bad is gonna happen to Asian Americans that live here. I cannot explain it. It's not a logical, intellectual, thoughtful thinking. Of course not. I think we know when things are dangerous, alarming. In your body, you feel it as danger, and instantly you want to protect yourself. Which is silly. I mean, we live in a very safe neighborhood. I know nobody's going to actually physically attack me. It's just this weird thing. I just feel danger coming up, and it's an instant defensive mechanism to watch out. So then, if I think even deeper, of course people are going to see my face. Asian face. Chinese, basically. So then you feel, here we go, I don't belong here. As long as I'm wonderful, law-abiding, responsible, quiet, don't make any problems, then I'm welcome. But if I make any kind of, I don't know, if I stand out.
And then there was a time where we had to share these isolation gowns with other people because we didn't have enough. And so we take it off and we wipe it down, we'd hang it up, and then we have to put it back on, and someone else potentially would wear it too. And it was just a gross, I don't know how to describe it. You feel low. You feel real low.
A lot of people in our circles are in education, and they're trying to create this online learning experience and online curriculum. But for the rest of us, it's just kind of been full stop, which is odd. One thing that's been super helpful is the restaurant I work at, Cheesecake Factory. A couple days after the stay-at-home order came in, they said, hey, we realize that you're all furloughed, the whole staff is furloughed, and we'd like you to come into the restaurant, but we can't. So instead, we're going to provide for you a staff meal every day, which is a small gesture, but I realized it's been very helpful because I have a bowl of cereal for breakfast, and then one of my other 2 meals is already taken care of. Probably missed 5 days since March 19th, since this whole thing started. So boy, oh boy, I'm not as sick of this place as I am of the same pasta and the same salad from the same restaurant. But it's been very nice. We've been splitting a to-go meal from Cheesecake, and those trips have really kept me sane. Even driving half a mile to the town center has been delightful.
I have come to accept the unknown. Everyone wants answers from me, and I feel like I need to be wearing this crown that says, I don't know, I don't know. What I do know is that graduation is like this massive stressor for the seniors, for their parents and guardians, and now the community. Everyone has an opinion. Y'all realize I can't put 3,000 people in the same place, right? That's not happening June 10th. So, we've been planning different things, like a virtual celebration that we're recording that people can watch at their homes on June 10th. You can imagine this is running through my head at night when I'm trying to fall asleep. So, I had my first Corona dream. I hear lots of people are having these dreams.
As for our household, I do more like the dirty work. I've been trying to be better at meal planning and cooking, taking out the trash and bringing up the bins, doing anything that's germ-ridden. I've been trying to do more things like that. Bringing in the groceries and wiping them down, stuff like that. Because I figure if there's one person who is the main hub of all that, then the other people are safer. I'm tired. It's hard to juggle all that. I mean, because I work at home, I do so much from here, and I feel like a lot has not changed for me, but very much has changed for everyone. And it's hard to balance. It's hard to juggle that balance. Like, everything is normal when life is not. I think I'm still having a hard time reconciling the two together. I mean, other than that, I'm okay. Just tired.
In my dream, people are running around, busy doing what they're expected to do, Kids are coming and picking up their cap and gowns, everyone is social distancing, everyone's waving, we can't hug, it's going great. It's very jovial in my dream. And then, from behind me, a parent, but she, graduated 3-4 years ago, I have no idea why she's there. Dr. Earl, she yells from behind me. Should I go help Ty with security on the field? And I turn around at first to say sure, but then I'm like, why are there people on the field? Well, everyone's here for graduation. What? And in my head, in this
panic moment, and probably from this place of wanting to please everyone, you know, I jumped up and I start flying down the quad. My tiptoes just dragging on the stairs, and I'm thinking like, I'm gonna fall on my face any second. But before you know it, after this weird, airy, eerie foot trip, fall, run to my office, I get in my office and I'm like yelling, I need my graduation gown. Is there sound? Did anyone get sound? Do we have speakers? Are there chairs? Where are people going to sit? Oh my God, I don't even have a speech. What am I going to say to these people? I need a speech. Do we have the flags? Do teachers know to come? I'm screaming out all these logistics of a graduation ceremony. And in this cartoon sort of way, I come screeching to a halt. Ear! And I'm like, we can't gather. It's not legal to social gather. Call 911! I just start screaming, call 911! And then I wake myself up because I do not want to see the next scene. When I fall back asleep, my dreams restart, and I did not want to be a part of getting up on that field and having to tell these people that they had to leave the field. I could not deal with that emotion of having to disappoint these people again. So I woke myself up and went to the kitchen. I could not deal with any more of that dream. Thank God it's not a recurring dream.
I'm not a doctor, but we should inject with Lysol, or UV radiation, or take the medicine that hasn't even been tested and take it away from the people who actually need it. You know, you get people coming into the hospital going, oh, I injected with bleach. It's like, what are we supposed to do then? You know, it's just spreading this fear, and it doesn't help us when we're already seeing so many anxious people at the hospital. They come in going, oh, I can't breathe, but we check them, and they're fine. Their vitals are fine, and it ultimately comes down to them just having a panic attack. You know, if we just keep seeing all of these people having panic attacks, clogging up our ERs, then we're not able to help the people who are actually sick, you know?
Something that I keep telling my clients, and something that I keep telling myself, is this is all temporary. This is all temporary, just like anything else we've ever been through. And something that my clients have told me is, I've been through prison, I can do this shit.
Huh? What was that? Oh, of course. Have a wonderful day, young lady. You too. She was so sweet. She said that we need to be positive during this dark time. I don't think of it much, because I'm positive about most things, everything. My job, my coworkers, my daughter, Zoya. She just turned into an adult this July, and I'm gonna be there every step of the way because she's deaf in the right ear and partially in the right. But she loves karate, and she loves Dave & Buster's. You know, she's a little sad that we can't go because we need to stay inside to stay safe. But we work out together, and we sometimes walk around the block. It doesn't bother me that she's so persistent because she has a mental deficiency. So she has the mental state of an 8 or 9-year-old. But even then, I stay optimistic because in life, it's too short to be sad about the circumstances you're given.
I know that I view high school as a romantic relationship that was arranged. We started off in freshman year, awkward, not knowing each other's personality, schedule, baggage. Second year, it was tolerable. I looked at the bright side of the relationship, which was the friends I made, the classes I liked. Year 3, I was ready to be done. I wanted to throw the relationship. It felt so toxic. Her friends couldn't help. Favorite teachers were seen differently. Family life and struggles were put on display right in front of you for you to not focus in class and leaving friend groups. Fourth year, I realized that I loved another. But I wanted to finish our 4th year together, strong. Now we broke up and we both thought that we would be better off without one another. But it turns out that I need it now more than ever. And us to be closer, to be better. Can that still happen? 'Cause if not, I'll be waiting.
I like to clean a lot. I'll tell you that because I asked if we were going crazy. First of all, I organized my closet, categorized my t-shirts by the light spectrum. So Roji Biv, you know, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet. Cleaned out under my bed and my bedside table and this closet. And that television entertainment center over there. Yesterday I did these 2 drawers down there. And I'm working my way up to a storage unit that needs some serious work. Never realized how loud my refrigerator was. Since that realization, the refrigerator door has remained closed.
These people are going outside and protesting because they're sick and tired of being inside all day. Now I can understand why most people wouldn't enjoy being inside all day for days on end, but that isn't comfort should not be above public safety. I can understand people who need to work and are living day by day, why they need to go outside, but again, they're putting themselves at risk and others at risk. I honestly wouldn't know what to do if I was in their shoes. Struggling to make ends meet, living paycheck by paycheck. Wondering how I'm gonna pay my next bill.
You know, you go on your lunch break and you come back, and this person you were just talking to, telling them we're gonna take care of you, you're in good hands, and you come back and they're incubated. Like, no medical history. But then you see their blood work again, and you look at their x-rays, and it blows your mind. How can this person be breathing right now with so much fluid in their lungs? Like, it's remarkable to me. No medical history. 40 years old, 30 years old. They're talking to you one second, and the next, dying. That's the frustrating thing. And people don't think it's real. You don't get to see what I get to see. So when I tell you it's not fake, believe me.
I think there's a lot of ways in which the city has been coming together, so it's been kind of cool to see a lot of the creativity and volunteer work that has come out of this. There's a lot of people very focused on, feeding, putting food drives together, a lot of that. And it's been cool to see. I mean, a lot of people have been very creative and very innovative in terms of how they're responding, so it's an interesting time. There have been skywriters up in the sky just writing very supportive messages across the skies of LA, so that's been really cool to see, And we've been doing things to celebrate our healthcare workers and our frontline workers. We have City Hall lit blue, and every night at 8 p.m., people just start cheering and clapping, and you can hear in a lot of different neighborhoods, you can hear it echo. I think those kinds of things have been really cool to see. So they're not all unique to Los Angeles. Some things have been springing up across the country and in the world too, but it's kind of cool to see kinds of ways we've shown solidarity with one another when we can't see each other, touch each other.
I don't want to put everything as racism. I don't want to, but if you have a different skin color, you feel that person doesn't like you because your skin color. They look down on you. I mean, we grow that sensitivity. I don't think about it every day, all the time, not at all. But my body, my brain is looking out for that. I mean, if anybody's being rude to me, I go to that place. What did I do? 'Cause I don't look like you, I don't belong? I know, Asian American, I don't think it's been a huge social problem when it comes to racism. So people are dismissive about it. It's no big deal. In my daily life, I don't think about it. I blend in with other Americans, so it's hard to even raise this concern. I don't want people to laugh at me, oh, you're exaggerating. It's nothing. We love Asians. So I don't even have the space to share this concern.
My wife and I, we don't know anybody who's died, but we know people who know people. Just seems to be getting closer and closer, People who are our age, people who are healthy and just go really quickly. It's kind of a scary thing. I don't know, it's just, no one knows what to do or where to go. It's like we're all flying blind. Yeah, it's scary. Every time I have a scratchy throat, I'm thinking, wait, do I have it? Did I get it? What happened? Where did this come from? Every little cough or scratchy throat. You wonder.
I have to walk in with a good attitude. And I can't come in here with a bad attitude. I need to take good care of myself outside of work. I've got to drink enough and get enough sleep and just know that what I've always known as a nurse, I'm here for these people. I'm the one who has to go and face this every day, and I have to go and not complain about it. I want to hold these people's hands, and I do, and the ones who can't talk, I apologize for them left and right. I'm sorry your family can't be there. I'm sorry this is not ideal, yeah, but I'm trying the best I can.
that perhaps is the most difficult part. That when our nation was created, the principles behind it were ultimately the principles about our collective social contract together, about our ideas that we are all interdependent. We participated with the endowment of several other foundations in our state government to recognize the undocumented and to recognize vulnerable societies as being part of the fabric of our society. And I believe that that sense of belonging is the only thing that's going to get us through this. And so I really feel strongly that this disease is going to open a window to the world we want. And my hope is that young people are going to walk through that door and say, we're not going back. We're going forwards. We can see what's possible, and we're not going back to that place of divisiveness, of fear. We can see the goodness and the heart in everyone, and the government needs to respond to our needs. We have the agency. We have the power. We can see what's possible when there's political will. And if there's one thing I can hope can come out of the other side of this, is the recognition of that resilience and an absolute commitment to not go back.
After 9/11, we saw a huge change on how we took care of things on a security level, and I think that this will change how we take care of things on cleanliness level. Well, that, and I think that the industry itself, I think, will see a big change. The travel industry has been booming and has been seeing an upturn, and I have been very fortunate, and lots of people have been very fortunate because of it. But I think, however, it also not destroys, but overpopulates so many beautiful places on the earth with too many hotels, and too many malls, and too many restaurants, and all that stuff just takes away from the authenticity. And I think that because of this, we're going to see a lot more authenticity. I'm sad that it took a world pandemic to make people stop and slow down and reassess, but I think that's what a lot of the industries are doing right now, and I think it's important that we do that as a society. And I would be pleasantly surprised if we saw a lot of change. And I'm hopeful that we do, but I also think we've had the opportunity to change before, and we didn't. So, no, I'm really hopeful that this time we do.
Yeah, they've proven in a bunch of studies that solitary confinement is harmful to the psyche of a human being, especially one who's already mentally ill, which does apply to me in its own way. And I think it's really hard to work through depression when you physically don't have any reason to get out of bed. Like, there's no deadline, there's no, oh, I need to go to the courthouse today, or today I need to go to the housing program, which is what I was doing. And I would take public transit to all these different places, so even when I was living on my own, at least I'd see other people, like humans. And I think it's really easy to get stuck in my head, you know, because there's nothing to snap me back to reality. No one's there to say, hey Anna, pay attention. It's just me. And I never really liked me. I mean, I feel like my whole life, I have found ways to avoid confronting what I've been through. I mean, I would deal with it like in therapy, but I just always take care of other people. I'm not good at taking care of myself. It's so much easier to worry about other people than to think about what's actually going on in my head and what I need to do for myself. I'm going through so much pain, and I don't have anything to distract me from it. There isn't anyone to hold my hand or to just be there when I go to sleep or when I wake up. There's no one. It's just, everyone's talking about how alone they feel, and I know this is affecting everyone, but it just came at such a difficult time in my life, and I'm doing it. I'm going through the hardest time of my life, which is saying something for me, and I'm following the guidelines. And it pisses me off so much to see people protesting that they don't get their hair cut, that they don't get to go bowling, that they don't get to go to the beach. I want them to shut the hell up because they have no idea that I'm going through all this crap and I'm having all these problems and I'm so alone. I'm following the guidelines. So I'm sorry, but you can go a few months without getting your hair cut, without going bowling or going to the beach, if I can go a few months without touching another human being. It's so much as a handshake or anything. The closest thing I come to human contact is when my case manager takes me grocery shopping and with the pizza delivery man. I don't know.
What I want people to know, like, I don't care if you're Democrat, I don't care if you're Republican. In the end, you're a human being. We're fighting, all of us, for each other. This isn't about you, it's not about me. This is about we. We have to stick with each other. We have to fight for each other. You're giving up your chance to get a haircut. I'm giving up my chance to go to the gym. This person's not going to the beach. But you know what? In the end, we're saving lives. Because how guilty would you feel if your desire to go to the beach or get a haircut killed another person? You want to feel guilty about that? I want the people to understand that we're all in this together. It's not going to be forever. You just have to be a little patient.
This pandemic has really tested our resolve to be a self-sufficient community. And as a community, I think that it is a perfect response to community policing, because the LAPD, the NYPD, and a lot of these other police departments have proven that they have no accountability with the way that the mayors, the general attorneys, prosecutors, the DAs, the way that they're responding to them. It's as if they're afraid of the police. Just as afraid as we are. In light of George Floyd, in light of the pandemic, I think the only way out is trying to be responsible for the community. Hopefully get to a place where we can enforce or develop a strong community policing, and obviously, it is a bit of a pipe dream. But I think it's a very doable long-term goal so we do not have any more George Floyds. Unfortunately, if people hadn't rioted or lit the Target on fire, nothing would have come of this. I mean, Kaepernick has been peacefully protesting for years, and nothing has come of it. I got into a dispute with my friend the other day, and he was like, this isn't going to lead to complete and total justice. This isn't going to lead to overthrowing of the current order. And I was just like, maybe it won't. But I think in the long term, it's definitely a step in the right direction. Right now, there's a recognition of our common humanity. It's just so powerful that, people are changing their minds about policies. I think that kind of international spirit and that kind of embracing of the common humanity, that is our only way out.